But
The
boy, they're
spicy
salty.
ones are bad. The spicy ones are bad.
I can't do spicy.
Oh, God. Okay, so, also in your textbook, chapter 4 is the staining chapter, explains how a gram stain works. It's got the whole procedure laid out for you. If only I could find it, it's in chapter 4.
You have the same thing in a staining procedure online in the module.
Oh, I do?
I don't know, I'm asking you.
No. It's
No?
in chapter 4 in your textbook, there's no chapter 4 PowerPoints in there.
Oh, there's a difference, so stain, gram stain. Is that the thing?
Does it show you how to do it?
Yeah, but it doesn't say several. It just says.
Oh, that's the PowerPoints for lab. Oh, yeah. No, but I mean this, a picture guide, like this.
Oh. Yeah. So we're
Okay.
going to use more than one loophole because the PowerPoint says one loophole. So you're just saying you want to use a couple.
With the broth, you're going to
The
need
broth.
several loopholes. With the plates, you only need less than a loophole, just a little tap. Okay. All right, so let's talk about peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan is a net-like molecule. So I have all these little net pieces. So it's really a flexible net-like molecule. So let's pretend this is the inside of the cell. The nucleoids inside, the cytosol, the ribosomes, whatever else, wrapped in a plasma membrane. Now we're going to add a cell wall. If it's a gram-negative cell, it's got 1, maybe 2 layers of peptidoglycan. So it's a thin wall. And being that it's a thin wall, the net-like molecule still leaves some pretty big openings. So if I put in my crystal violet, set it with the grams iodine, when I decolorize it, the openings are kind of big and loose and it's only 2 layers thick, so it's going to wash it out. So when I counterstain, it's going to pick up the red saffron and counterstain, but it's only going to be able to hold a little bit of it because it's so thin. So your gram-negative cells are going to come out pale red, light red, because the wall's so thin. Also, remember, gram-negative cells have that outer membrane. When you decolorize, this is alcohol. It's going to dissolve that lipid outer membrane. So that's gone. All you're left with is 1 or 2 layers of peptidoglycan to hold your saffron in. So it's going to be really pale red. And don't you know the smallest bacteria are gram-negative? E. coli and his friends and family Enterobacteriaceae are small bacillus-shaped bacteria. And they're gram-negative, so not only are they small and hard to see, but their wall is thin, so they don't hold much stain, so they're going to be little tiny pale red ones. All right, if I have a gram-positive cell, it's going to have 6 to 8 layers of peptidoglycan. So I'm going to add 6 more layers. So it's now a total of 8 layers. Look how thick that wall is and how tightly overlapping the net is. So you have tiny openings. So now if I put in my crystal violet, it's going to hold a lot of it. Set it with the grams iodine mordant to make it thicker and stickier. It's going to stick in there so that when I decolorize, it's not going to wash out. A little bit might wash out, but not very much. Your gram-negative cells are going to wash out quickly. So when you get to the decolorizing step, remember that's the determinative step. That's the important step. Your gram-negative cells are going to get decolorized. Your gram-positive cells are not. But if you leave the decolorizer on too long or use too much decolorizer, eventually everything's going to get decolorized. So the whole key to a gram stain is your skills with the decolorizer. Then I add the saffron in. Well, it's not going to have any effect. It's going to stay purple throughout. Okay, so that's essentially how it works. I put out little trays by the sinks that have smaller bottles of the same stuff because these bottles, it comes glopping out too fast. The smaller bottles are easier to work with. So I guess you're ready to go. Any questions? One. So 1 minute with the crystal violet, rinse with your squeeze bottle. Cover it with mordant, 1 minute, rinse it with your squeeze bottle. Then pick up your decolorizer and just drop across the top of the slide and let it run down over. And then set it back down,
still rinse it
cover it
with
with
the
saffron,
water, right?
and rinse it. Yes, you rinse the decolorizer. So it's 1 minute, rinse. 1 minute, rinse, decolorize, rinse, 1 minute, rinse. It's an easy recipe to remember. And if just in case you don't, I can post it
And
up
we
there
heat
for you.
stain, right?
What?
We heat fix.
First, because you're gonna do all that rinsing, so you better heat fix. Okay, you may start anytime. I'm gonna go get my water bottle before I move it, my favorite one.
So,